What's up, everybody? This is Lyle with No Hit Me Barbecue, and what I'm gonna be doing today is just something real simple. We're gonna be doing some steak sandwiches, and I'm gonna be cooking this in the slow cooker, so it's gonna be something real easy, something that you might want to hook up. Anyway, come on in and take a look at what we're working with. Ingredients we're gonna be rolling with. First of all, I have this tri-tip. Use whatever kind of roast you want. I'm gonna cut this up thinly. We have some Gouda cheese, some Hvarti cheese. I have some cremini mushrooms that are sliced up. We're going to make a beef stock, and to kind of pump up the flavor, I'm going to be using this Cavenders Greek seasoning. This is loaded with MSG, so we're going to be bringing out all kinds of good flavor. I have some jalapeno peppers, which we're going to slice lengthwise, and we're going to cut this green pepper into strips. And one thing I forgot, boom, onion, thinly cut up. And the bread I'm going to use is just some French bread I got on sale for 50 cents. So I'm going to cut this stuff up and we'll pick it up. I have everything sliced up. I have my jalapenos sliced pretty thin like that. I left the seeds in it because taking seeds out of a jalapeno to me is like buying a car without the tires. So I always leave the seeds in. We have our green peppers cut thin. Mushrooms are already cut. The onions I have cut about that thin. The meat, I didn't want to cut it super thin, but there's about our thickness on that. Now, my crock pot's a little bit, well, air fryer, air roaster crock pot. It can be used as a crock pot, which we're going to use, but it also has this fan that attaches to the lid, which will turn this kind of into a mini convection oven. So if you happen to see something like that at a garage sale, definitely knock it out. Now all we need to do is just throw everything in, just like every other crock pot meal out there. And here is our liquid. And I'm going to add a little bit more water. I don't need it totally submerged, but just to get some of that beef bouillon out of there. And then I'm going to hit it with our Cavenders Greek seasoning, and we're going to go pretty liberal on this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get my lid on here, and I'm going to plug it in, but low on this would be about 150 degrees, so that's where I'm going to set it at. And this is going to be able to go for about 8 hours. In the crock pot for about 7 hours. I'm going to just go ahead and drain some of this stuff out, or drain all of it out, excuse me. So now we've got that all drained out. I'm going to go ahead and save this juice in case somebody wants some of this for later. And what I'm going to do is I have some horseradish sauce, cream horseradish sauce. I'm going to go ahead and mix some of this in. Okay, we got that mixed in. I'm going to go ahead. Now what I've done was I've hollowed out a little bit of the top, a lot of the bottom. Now we're just going to go ahead and hit it with some squeezed butter. I would have gone with just olive oil, but I had some of this left over, so we're going to just hit it with this. Brush it down just to spread it out a little bit. And this is going to go in the oven until it's slightly toasted. So now that we have our butter melted on our bread, what we're going to do, just to keep the steak mixture from leaking through, we're going to go ahead and hit the bottom of this bread with some of this Gouda cheese. Okay, now we're just going to go ahead and put this mixture on top of the cheese, straining out any obvious excess liquid that's in there. What we're going to do is put some of this Hvarti cheese on top. We're going to throw it back in the oven, and I'm going to put it on broil until this cheese is melted down and this gets a little bit more crisp. When that was in the oven, I looked at it, thought it might need another layer of cheese, so I did put some more Gouda on that top section right there. I'm going to let this cool down. When it's done getting cooled down just a little bit, we're going to cut it and see what's up. Done deal. And for those of you guys that don't know, my son gives me all kinds of inspiration. As a matter of fact, if I lived in Hollywood and I was thinking about opening up a store, I might call it Hedrick's of Hollywood, based on that big old dome. Anyway, it's time for us to get down to this taste test. Let's go in and dig in. So what's up?
Oh, it's great. The meat's nice and tender. The cheese is melted perfectly. The onions and peppers are nice and cooked down. The onions are sauteed perfectly.
There you go. Thought this was, before I take another bite, let me tell you, I'm not used to, or not that I'm not used to it. I don't do a lot of cooking in this crock pot. This was very convenient today since I was going to be out. Anyway, something you should give a shot. Anyway, this greedy ass. Anyway, thanks for stopping by No Hippie Barbecue. I appreciate it. Comment, subscribe, and I'm out.